Hello, thank you for joining me on Humanities Radio. I'm Jana Cunningham with the University of Utah College of Humanities, and today I'm speaking with Trysta Moala, a student who is currently living in the Humanities House here on campus. Trysta is majoring in Asian Studies. She was a member of the Humanities Scholars cohort last year and has participated in an alternative spring break focusing on HIV and AIDS in LA. She is joining me to talk about her experience as a youth student and the importance of getting involved on campus. Let's begin with why you chose the U.
I chose the U because there's not really any other school in Utah like the U, because the U has so much to offer globally, and I knew I wanted to do something involving like international studies. We have a campus in Korea, which is amazing to me, which is something that I haven't seen any other school in Utah have, and we have a lot of diversity here compared to other schools like UVU and BYU, which are colleges that were around where I'm from.
So you're majoring in Asian Studies, and how did you land on that major?
Initially, I was declared as an international studies student last year, but I wanted to learn Korean, and I started doing Korean, and I took a Exploring Asia class, and as soon as I took it, it was like the second week, and I was like, I really, really love Asia. Like, everything involving Asia is interesting to me, and it kind of just led to me having a conversation with my counselor and being like, my advisor, and saying I want to do Asian Studies, and I've just been on it and loving everything about it.
So was there a specific course or professor who kind of influenced that major, or is there just been one course that you can think about that you have really enjoyed the most so far?
I definitely enjoyed Professor Kornak's Exploring Asia class, but all of my Korean classes I've taken have really helped me stay in Asian Studies and stay learning Korean. All of the professors in the Korean department are amazing, and they've really solidified my decision to keep learning Korean.
So in the introduction, we talked a little bit about how involved you've been on campus since you arrived at the U, being a humanities scholar last year, living in the Humanities House, already completing an alternative spring break. Why did you decide to be so involved on campus, and how has it benefited your education or your experience here at the U?
I kind of put myself in a situation with a lot of involvement. I was part of the first year council with the student government, and I was volunteering at the English Language Institute. Also, I helped out with being an ambassador for like the Global Utah, and just helping with some Korean students who came over to tour and try to help them choose if they want to go to the U. I thought it was important to be part of any community whatsoever, and I've always wanted to be part of clubs. In high school, I was part of clubs, and when I came to the U, there's just so many clubs that you can be part of that I felt it would be an injustice to myself to not be involved.
So how did you find those clubs?
I just looked around for flyers, and I was one of those people who looked up on the internet everything possible, like, what does the U have to offer? Like, oh, I'm interested in Korean. Is there a Korean club? I'm interested in looking at student government. Is there anything I can do as a first-year student? So I just really was through that, and also I was able to be a little bit involved with the Humanities Student Council last year, thanks to my academic advisor. She told me that there was a student council, period, and I was like, oh, like, go ahead, and whoever you have to email her and tell her my name. I want to be involved.
So what advice would you give students, especially freshmen who kind of don't even know where to begin to look? What advice would you give to them on where to look, where to find resources?
I would say look everywhere on campus. There's posters everywhere, and anything that's the little bit, like even tiny bit interesting to you, just go after it. Because a lot of people find that they're interested in something they didn't know they'd be interested in. Like for me, with alternative breaks, I was able to be a volunteer, and this year I'm actually a site leader for a trip. So for me, that was something I wasn't expecting out of myself. I thought it would just be like a trip that I would be able to talk about for a while, but now here I am working heavily with the Benyon Center about what my next trip's going to be this spring.
What is your next trip going to be?
I'm going to be leading the animal advocacy in Kanab, Utah this spring.
So is that just for spring break?
So alternative breaks with the Benyon Center, they happen during the fall break and spring break. And for students who can't get a week off of work, they also have weekend trips. And the Benyon Center is an amazing place to just get into the community and work.
And so do you expect to continue to be involved with Benyon throughout your education here?
I'm really hoping I can be. Next year, I'm anticipating going abroad, so I can't help out or be part of it. But my senior year, I definitely want to look into being part of alternative breaks or any partnership whatsoever.
So I know that you still have quite a bit of education to go, or quite a bit of schooling to go before you graduate. But what are you hoping to do after you graduate? Or better yet, what are your end goals? What do you hope to do maybe in 10 years?
In 10 years, I anticipate having a bachelor's degree in Asian studies and hopefully a master's degree. I really want to go to grad school. I think it would be an amazing opportunity to be maybe a professor for a university teaching something in Asian studies, or maybe even a language professor teaching Korean. I'm not too sure, but I know Asia is what I really care about, and it's something that I will continue to study.
That was Trysta Moala, an Asian Studies major here in the College of Humanities. For more information about the college, please visit humanities.utah.edu.